Alright, we've been working on the Jalopy here. Got some coolant lines going to our radiator. Our little bypass hooked up. Got an alternator, one wire from Jim down at Interwest Rebuilders, my buddy. Fuel line ran all the way to the rear, all brand new. All brand new brake lines. Made my own little shock mounts here. Drilled through the axle and bolted a little bolt. It went bolt, nut, and then that tightened down the two washers there on the shock, and that nut kind of spaced it out of the inner edge of the I-beam. So the nut was there, and then the bolt went through and put another nut on the back. Worked out really slick like. Did some Jalopy exhaust. Got these old dinged up side pipes off of Marketplace a few years ago. Stuck them out. And then just got some shocks going on there. And this guy keeps yelling at me that my brake lines are leaking.
Doesn't tighten stuff down.
In my defense, I tried.
Yeah, I understand. It's difficult sometimes.
Putting on shocks is always something that I hate doing because it's always a pain in the butt, but got these on there. They were stud, so I was able to drill that old cross member that you can see through this rust hole here that held our leaf springs. Just did a hole through the body there so you can tighten them down from the inside of the trunk here. They aren't tightened down onto the sheet metal, mind you. They are on that cross member. Put fluid in the rear diff. What else? Oh, Jared did the electrical. We have some wires going to stuff. Trying to keep it clean, as simple as possible. We got an ignition that somebody had installed in there that we've hooked stuff up to. Our body ground and ground there. Our one wire power from the alternator. And I hooked that, or he hooked that up just to the post so it doesn't have to run all the way through. We just have our starter solenoid that we're going to install in here so we don't have to see it on the outside. There was a little triple pod hanging underneath that we've hooked up to water, hooked the oil line up, and Jared hooked up the volts, or is going to. Oh, I did get these Ford hubcaps off of eBay. I bought these tires off of Bo, our lovely editor of our shows here. These are the tires that I bought for my Nash. That yes, I should be working on the Nash, but I'm not. It's just 1950s high school kid car. So all in all, I'm very pleased with it. I love its look. It is a genuine article of a Jalopy hot rod, you know. It's gonna be super cool to drive. So Jared's working on getting the battery under the floor here. I'm working on a shifter. As with a lot of the parts that came with this 55 Crown Vic parts car that I got, it has this Thunderbird shifter. They even had new, like the plastic with the indicator. They had a new shift ball, new release, and kind of cool. It had the new light with it. However, the way this new rod, it still had the Fomoco tags on it and stuff. This little rod that's on the trans for the shifter isn't removable from the exterior of the trans. You have to go inside and undo it and pull that whole assembly out. So I'm going to put a piece on it that kind of C-shapes up to where this shifter will work correctly. As it is right now, that's park all the way up and it goes down through the gears, but we need the park to be all the way forward on the shifter, so that's all the way back on our rod. So doing the little C shape up should get us where we need to be, and we'll go from there. Our arm is 4 inches long, So that's an 8-inch circle, right? So we're gonna go 4 inches up here, and we're gonna arc that in a 4-inch sweep, and that'll be our quarter of a circle, which means that we're gonna move it from here where it was to here where we want it now. So that's our piece. That'll give us some piece to weld onto that arm and go up to there. That'll be our new hole for the shifter linkage. I got our piece here, and I want to delicately weld it to that guy down there. I didn't want to weld it up on here because I was afraid of the seals and the trans. This should be far enough away from it, or won't melt a seal or anything. That 4 inches of our 8-inch radius, hopefully we'll keep the shifter in the same ratio, and that's why we did that. So let's see if I can weld that on there in this tight space and do any kind of quality here. So that's kind of what we're going to end up with here. We can see we got the linkage in a lot tighter to the trans. Shifter should be somewhere around here. I think that'll work with anybody, whatever height you are. And because I'm not building it entirely just for myself, I'm built to sell. But I think that'll work.
Let's go for a ride.